Our next topic is a rather big one, maybe a tiny bit controversial. We're going to be taking a deep dive into the future of EV charging payments systems. And we're going to have several experts join me on the stage for a discussion. But first, just to kick us off, we will hear a short presentation from the Chief Business Development Officer of Virta. So let's have a warm welcome for Elias Puri. Hello, Elias. Good to see you.
Ersten Tag.
Hello, everybody. Very nice to be on this stage for the 12th year on the roll. The first time I was at the ICNC stage, we were 9 people. So like Christian said in the beginning, this is a family meeting, and our family is growing fast. So finally, we all in this hall are feeling that we are in one of the fastest moving industry. And it, of course, feels good. When we started our business, there were 50 EVs in Finland. Now we are going to have our, let's say, next month, 100,000 chargers on our platform alone, measured by maybe having at least one charging event in 1 year. Of course, the infrastructure is built before the market comes in, and so there is enough EV charging. Few numbers just to give a grip on where I'm coming from. And thanks for the introduction. By the way, deep dive for EV payments in 1 hour time for presentation on panel might not be possible, but scratch of the surface on what's happening maybe in the future of payments. So 100,000 chargers, but we also have 1,000 business-to-business customers. We are one of the few real multi-tenant platforms, which is a good opener for the discussion of path to profitability. Where should anyone invest, or everybody invest in order to become profitable in this sector? Maybe a few other corner numbers I would like to mention. We are in 34 countries now. We are opening Indonesia and Malaysia next, so we will have 36 countries. I think we are the biggest by geographical footprint. So this brings some challenges, but it also brings some opportunities. And at the same time as we have been growing, we heard about Ellie's energy management as well. So we have 34 patent families, especially in this area of energy management. And yes, we are also participating in energy flexibility markets and actually gaining real money from it. So this is one of the income streams that we see very crucial. But when we look at this industry and payments and where we are coming from and where we are going to, we also see turmoil. Last Mile Solution was talking about possibility of reaching the time of consolidation soon. No, the time is now. Actually, small players are not doing very well at the moment. All listed companies in the industry have lost their value remarkably, except few. What makes the difference? The ones who are growing in their value, they are profitable. And how to reach the profitability, that's, I think, the key. And where the profitability is coming from, is coming from cost efficiency throughout the whole value chain. It doesn't mean that we want to be profitable only ourselves, but we must make sure that our customers become profitable. And that needs the economies of scale. Platforms eventually grow global. Nobody is building their own ERP system. Nobody is building their CRM system anymore. But there are few platforms that will cater all the players in the market. That's what we believe in. And it also means that we have to partner with global players. We have to only do global scalable solutions. And we must not do niche features. You can never win the feature games. There is always somebody with a feature you don't have. And basically, that means you should avoid local domestic solutions if you want to be profitable faster, if you really want to scale globally. And this applies to everything with payments. Payment is the key to EV charging profitability. Now, if you look at the payments from the EV driver point of view, sorry for the small text, you get the digital handouts later. So for the EV driver point of view, the payment is pretty simple. You have two choices. You either have a subscription with your EMP, then you use your app, RFID card, whatever, or then you don't, and then you use physical card app that caters these charging stations. It's either kind of a global EMP or then it's your own MSP, or you scan the code or URL. This is simple if there are two things in place. For subscription, roaming would be good. And for one-time payments, physical credit cards are the only globally scalable solution that really is accepted in all parts of the world, at least all parts where money transactions are somewhat in a compliant manner. And still, what we're seeing as an industry, 95% of all charging events on public chargers are done with subscriptions. So this was our belief also for a long, long time. We said that credit cards are too expensive. That causes a mayhem. And the reality is that if we look at the simple payments from an operator point of view, from a platform point of view, you're absolutely right. It's a mayhem. It's super complicated. You have to take care of multiple PSPs in multiple countries. You have to manage different kind of integrations with different kind of players. And if we add to this, now we're seeing credit card terminals installed into chargers by the charger manufacturers. On our platform, there are some 200 charger models, even more. Think about it, if they all have their own payment terminal with their own integrated PSPs, with their own integrated payment gateways. Who's going to integrate that? Who's going to maintain these kind of integrations? European Commission impact assessment for the AFIR regulation stated that the payments will be causing about 10 cents extra cost minimum to charging events. So we said credit cards are not good. However, there are some choices. The roaming. It seems that plug and charge and roaming is a super idea. You don't have to have cards, you don't have to have other payment methods. You just plug in the car, right? We thought that, yeah, this will be standardized ISO 15118, right? But what is actually happening? 70% of US is in Tesla network. That is going to NACS, North American Charging Standard plugs, and also they're in the Tesla infrastructure of plug and charge, or auto charge, what you call it. Then auto charge, the simplified method of doing plug and charge. Every Chinese manufacturer uses it, and they are gaining market share. They will be #1 in EV cars in the coming couple of years already in Western markets as well. So they're not adapting ISO 15118, at least yet. So this leaves 3 different players in the roaming markets. When you talk about plug and charge easy payments. And that of course makes us wonder that was it that simple after all? And again, several integrations needed. And again, you will have to know which standard you have in your car or your MSP in order to use these chargers. I hope that this will integrate into seamless experience by the roaming players and Tesla, and maybe integration to auto charge. Finally, if we talk about the new fintech solutions, everybody's saying that you don't need credit cards. Why? But there are so many new things coming up. And I think, yeah, there are so many things coming up, but they're not going to be majority in the next 5 years, at least. So reality is that this kind of specific solutions are only viable in countries where they are integrated to super apps. Let's say there is Alipay, there is GrabPay, so on. So these kind of super apps may have their own payment methods, line pay in Thailand, so on. But otherwise, the reality is that we have to do what is globally scalable. So I said 95% of the chargers will be, charging will happen, or 90% of the charging events are subscription-based, depending on which statistics you take. Here is one of them still. This is the reality now. Now the early adopters are using the EVs. But when we were against these cards, the wise guys from MasterCard and WorldPay asked us that, do you think that the late majority and the laggards, will they adapt these technically difficult things with multiple apps and with this mayhem? So are you, as Virta, are you really on the side of catalyzing the adoption of EVs, or are you against it? So we checked at the realities. 50% of the EV drivers approximately want to use credit cards, physical credit cards for payments. We cannot avoid that. If we want to catalyze EV charging, if we want to catalyze the adoption of EVs, we need physical credit cards as well. And of course, MasterCard has statistics about the general public's willingness to use credit cards, and that's even higher. So the reality is that there are 5, let's say, key drivers guiding the near future EV charging payments. Cost efficiency in the value chain to allow sustainable business. That's the only business that will survive. You cannot spend €2 against every €1 revenue you make. Second, reliability and security. We really have to have charging methods and payment methods that are reliable and have over 99% SLA. Thirdly, the scalability and acceptance, unified, simple payment methods for future-proof, integrated energy management. We have to take advantage of all the future value streams there are to even further, let's say, bring EV more beneficial for the EV driver. And finally, credit cards are always and will be for years to come the basis for all major payment models. If it's online, the credit card is behind it. If you use Tesla, you have credit card behind your payment structure. If you use it locally, if you pay with the local card payments, you need the credit cards. So this is how we see the future now. Of course, interesting, funny things and super nice disruptions coming in fintech sector in years to come. But for the next years, we have to kind of stick to what we have and that what really scales in a cost-efficient manner. And that's why we partnered with MasterCard and WorldPay, and we're going to discuss about this in the panel to come. So thanks from my part.